What's going on, Omnibuddies? Mitch here, and today we are doing another Omnibuddy overview. What are we looking at? We are looking at the latest from Sergio Aragonés. I believe that's how you say his name. We are looking at Groo, Gods Against Groo. All right, so first things first, thank you to Dark Horse for hooking me up with a copy of this book. And you know what? Normally I don't do trade paperbacks. Obviously my channel's Omnibuddy for Omnibus. I do all hardcovers normally. I very, very rarely look at trade paperbacks. And you know what? I broke my rule for this book because I have heard so much about Groo, how like slapstick funny, great it is, and how awesome just the art style and Sergio's just storytelling is. So when I found out that this book was coming out, I've never read Groo before, and I was like, okay, this is the time I need to jump on this. And so I got myself that copy. Let's check it out. All right, so here is Groo, Gods Against Groo by Sergio Aragonés. I hope I'm saying his name right. We got Mark Evanier and Stan Sakai and Carrie Strachan all on this book too. And yeah, so this retails for $19.99 USD, comes to us from Dark Horse Comics. Great little trade paperback. I'll say that the binding, I mean, it's a trade paperback, so I mean, the binding's nice, holds up nice and well. No splits or pages falling out or feeling loose or anything like that. The paper is nice and thick, good quality. So it's a quality trade paperback, that's for sure. And you don't really have to worry about anything beyond that if you're buying a trade paperback. So let's jump into it. You got a great introduction here by Mark, and then it gets right into the story. And I have never read any Groo, so this definitely just kind of jumps right into the book and pulls you right along for the ride, and you kind of have an idea of who Groo is and how this world works. Right off the bat, you're just kind of on this fun ride and being introduced to all these wacky, insane, crazy characters with really great art and really funny sequences and things like that. I love Groo and his dog, Ruferto. Just such a good, Ruferto is such a great concept, just having this dog that can't speak, loves his owner, but is so much smarter than his owner. Just, it's such a great concept. Just, he's along for the ride because he's man's best friend and he's Groo's best friend. And I don't know, maybe his only friend. And he's smarter than Groo, but he's there for the ride. And so are we. We're there for it. And somehow things seem to always work out for Groo. And man, super interesting concept with, I'll say I've never seen this before with maybe like in the Disney Hercules where, you know, man can become God kind of a thing. But I've never seen this concept before. So it was actually really interesting, the world building. Aside from stuff happening on Earth, on the planet, the stuff happening in like the heavenly realm with Groo and the gods, and how these two work in tandem for and against each other, and how they affect each other on Earth and in the heavenly realm. Obviously you can see like fighting and craziness, and then craziness on Earth, and it's got some really interesting stuff going on, really funny. And then dealing with fallout of Groo's actions in past events that they're not really, they explain it, but just they explain it enough for people like me who have never read Groo before to kind of have an idea of the characterization and the things he's put the world through, and why some people hate him and some people love him, and why the gods hate him, and why he does kind of what he does, and how he's just kind of doing his own thing. You know, he likes his cheese dip, he likes his dog, and he likes to eat, and he likes to fight, and that's basically it. And you give him that, and you're good to go, and he'll leave you alone, except for, if you're on a boat, then he's going to probably sink it, as they say over and over and over in this book. Really funny stuff in here. Definitely reminds me of those Saturday or Sunday funny papers with the color and the storytelling and the funny sequences and interesting, crazy, wacky characters, and not having to have a whole ton of context for the characters or the situations either, because they're just funny, innately funny in themselves, and there's not a whole lot of history required to know. So really fun story. It's actually got some pretty interesting storytelling elements, like I said before, with the gods and the heavenly realm and the people on earth, and how all that interacts in worship, and how worship happens and works, and how they affect each other. And it's got some political undertones with religion and taxation and tithing and things like that. So it's got some interesting stuff with that too. It doesn't just have fun. Well, it has fun, but it also says stuff and goes a little bit deeper too along the way, which I thought was really nice. I was not expecting that. I was expecting just to be very surface level, but there was actually some really good, interesting, kind of subterfuge, is that the right word? Just underlying, just he's saying stuff underneath it all, and if you're reading closely and paying attention, he's saying some interesting stuff and has some interesting points. So definitely really cool. And then when the book ends, I won't show that, but then it goes through and just got referto sequences and really funny sequences in there, wordless because he's a dog and can't talk. And then you just got some cover art gallery here at the end too. So you got like the black and white and color, and then, which I think is always interesting actually. I love seeing when they do side by side, or as my mom would say, side by each, where they have, the black and white ink work and then the color work right next to it. I always think that's pretty cool to see just how much a colorist can do with inks. So pretty cool. And then, yeah, there we go. So that is it. A little cute little Groo and Referto there at the end. Anyways, so, and that is the back. So that is a quick look overview at Groo, Gods Against Groo. All right, so that was the overview for Groo, Gods Against Groo. I thought it was so fun, like just the ridiculousness of it. It was like a Hagar the Horrible, like kind of callback to that, those old Sunday tunes where it's just these like crazy situations, crazy characters, and just things happening, and just really funny dialogue. And you know what? As a new reader to Groo, not knowing really anything about him, like it just picks up right away and just takes you along for the ride and kind of explains it as you go. So it was super fun just to jump in, and now I really want to go back and read a lot more Groo just because it was so funny, so ridiculous. The art is just phenomenal. The colors are great. It was just such a fun ride to go on. I really need to go and look up what else is out there for Groo. I'm really hoping they do some really nice collections. Collected editions of Groo in the future. Sergio's art definitely needs to just be blown up to just the biggest scale they can possibly get it to, whether it's an absolute or a library edition or anything like that. Just get it big and get that art in my eyes, because it's friggin' awesome. Really funny story, like I said. So I really enjoyed it. If you're not looking for slapstick and like some really just ridiculousness, it's probably not going to be a book for you. But if you're looking for like wholesome, ridiculous, funny stuff going on, just a really nice kind of relaxed, light reading, this is definitely a book that I would highly recommend for that. So don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification, do all those things. But the most important thing to do, I always say in all my videos, is to comment, because I love talking with you all. You're going to be super hard pressed to find any comment on my YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or X, whatever it's called, you're gonna be really hard pressed to find any legitimate comment on my pages that don't have a response for me. I know I'm a few behind right now, but I'm gonna be going and responding to them all, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow night. We'll see what happens. But yeah, don't forget to pick up that book. Book's friggin' awesome, super cool. Really hoping to get some more Groo very soon because it was so fun. But that's it. Don't forget to comment. Let me know the most ridiculous, let's say, kind of what book reminds you of those Sunday morning funny section, like the Sunday paper, the funny section where, you know, every Sunday it was like all the comic strips are in color, and as a kid I friggin' loved that, and so I would just tear through the funny section in the newspaper. What was your favorite comic that reminds you of reading those? And also let me know what your favorite Sunday paper tune was, or Sunday newspaper comic strip was. Let me know in the comments. All right, that's it. Take care. Stay cool.